Good morning and welcome to this week's news conference. We will be introducing our mayor for the day, announcing Erie Arts and Culture's Doris Duke Charitable Foundation grant, providing an explanation of Juneteenth and the upcoming festivities this weekend, highlight the Walking in Black History program, and showcasing activities in the Summer Parks and Rec Guide. And now I'll turn it over to the mayor.
Thanks a lot, Renee, and welcome everyone. Good to have you here. Today we are focusing our agenda on projects and programs that relate to two parts of our vision. First is our celebration of our rich cultural diversity that we have, and the second is our welcoming vibrant neighborhoods. First, though, in honor of World Refugee Awareness Month, we are again today welcoming a young student from Erie's Public Schools who is a refugee and who is joining us as mayor for the day today. So I'm proud to introduce you to today's mayor, Hania Omar. Hania, would you come up and join me here? After arriving in City Hall this morning, she received her lanyard, her name badge, and toured parts of City Hall already. Hania has also received a copy of our mission and vision statement, 4 of my pens, all different, a city lapel pin, and a certificate commemorating today's experience, which I'm going to present next. So whereas Hania has completed eighth grade at East Middle School, she has been chosen today to serve as City of Erie as mayor for the day. Whereas Hania Omar was recommended by teachers to be mayor for the day because she is a caring, compassionate, and dedicated student who demonstrated leadership qualities and positive behavior, and she works hard every day to succeed. Whereas Hania Omar, a refugee from Iraq, who has lived in Erie now for about 3 years, participates in the Mayor for the Day program in celebration of World Refugee Awareness Month during the month of June. Whereas Hania Omar is attending the mayor's weekly press conference, touring City Hall, the police station, and a firehouse. She'll also be riding in a police cruiser and a fire truck. She'll be enjoying lunch with me and my team, and she'll be learning about Erie's future. So now, therefore, on this 13th day of June, 2019, I, Joseph V. Schember, Mayor of the City of Erie, hereby recognize Hania Omar as Mayor of the City of Erie for a day. I commend her for her success so far and encourage her to make a positive difference wherever she goes, because Hania is Erie's future. Congratulations, Hania. You want something? You can sit. We tried to get her to give a speech, but so maybe next time. Next, Erie's Arts and Culture was recently awarded the Doris Duke Charitable Foundation grant. The mission of the Doris Duke Charitable Foundation is to improve the quality of people's lives through grants supporting the performing arts, environmental conservation, medical research, and child well-being. We're excited to hear about the award of the Building Bridges grants for the Old Songs, New Voices project, and we wanted to help get the word out about that. So I'd like to bring up next Kelly Armour from the Erie Arts and Culture to tell us more about how they plan to use this grant. Kelly.
Thank you. So it is very exciting to get this grant from the Doris Duke Foundation. There's only 14 of these grants were given out across the nation, and we are one of them. So, yes, it is. It is. It's a huge. I personally am in my work with artists and diversity. I've had my eyes on this money for over a decade, so it's particularly gratifying. We will be doing a project where we'll be working with artists who are from Muslim-majority countries and building their capacity through a series of initiatives. They'll first be working with high school students who are also learning journalism and videography, and the artists will be learning to tell their story to American audiences, and hopefully also we'll get some wonderful video footage of them doing their music, song, or other artistic traditions. Then we're partnering with One Table in the spring for them to present their art forms to different One Table gatherings. And then finally, they'll be presenting at both the Erie Blues and Jazz Festival and at Celebrate Erie. We have wonderful artists, musicians, dancers, visual artists who are from Guinea, who are from South Sudan and Sudan, who are from Syria, Palestine and Iraq, and I'm really anxious to get them to share their gifts with the wider community.
Thanks, Kelly. This is really an exciting project, and it really supports our efforts to celebrate Erie's great cultural diversity. Our diversity is really what makes us stronger and contributes to our community in many ways, including food, art, dance, and song. So thank you for spearheading this initiative. And also Patrick Fisher, thanks for joining us today as well. Appreciate that. Next, we'd like to provide an overview of Juneteenth and upcoming related festivities to that. Juneteenth is short for June 19th. It's a holiday commemorating the day that marked the effective end of slavery in the United States. On June 19th, 1865, 2 months after the surrender of the Confederate General Robert E. Lee at the Appomattox Courthouse in Virginia, Union General Gordon Granger and approximately 1,800 soldiers arrived in Galveston, Texas, to take control of the state and enforce the Emancipation Proclamation. In December of 1865, slavery in America was formally abolished by the adoption of the 13th Amendment. In 1979, Texas became the first state to officially name Juneteenth as a holiday, and most states now do observe Juneteenth. To showcase some of the festivities around the city of Erie this weekend, I'd like to first invite Angela McNair to come up to the podium and share some ideas and details about what's going to be happening this weekend for Juneteenth celebration. Angela is an Erie School Board member and coordinator of this long-standing Erie tradition. For 6 years, the event has been at the Booker T. Washington Center. We are pleased that now for the 7th year, we've chosen to celebrate in the heart of downtown Erie. Angela.
Good morning. I'm excited that we're going to be having Juneteenth in downtown Erie this year. I've been coordinating it for several years in our community. Actually, Mr. Horton, who's here, was the one who I can remember coordinating it when I was younger as a child down at Roger Young Park. And, for several years, it kind of died down and no one hosted it. So a few of us got together and we decided that we were going to pick it back up again as young leaders in the community. And this weekend, we are going to be having a chain of events starting on Saturday, June 15th from 12 to 6 p.m. We're going to be hosting the actual main Juneteenth festival right here in downtown Erie in Perry Square West. We have free food, giveaways. We had a host of people who donated to the event. They've been donating food, book bags, and we appreciate all of your donations. We will have a rain location, so if it does rain, we will have another location for the event to be at. And we're excited to have the Breeze Band at our event this year, once again, who volunteers their time, and many other community members who have volunteered their time to come help set up and to help perform at this event. On Sunday, St. James will be hosting a service that will be spoken about in just a few moments. That is a part of this event that we are all coordinating. And on Wednesday, we tentatively have Representative Jordan Harris, who will be speaking at the Jefferson Educational Society. So we're really excited this year. We've expanded it. We've partnered with other folks that are having Juneteenth so that we can become one and, operate in a unified manner. We just hope to continue to build on this event in order to celebrate the African American community in Erie, and we hope that this will bring our community closer together as we continue to plan these events every year and other events in a unified manner. So we'll be happy to have anyone, it's open for anyone to join us, come down and celebrate with us. We have a lot of festivals around Erie throughout the year, and this is one of them. We want everybody to come out just like they come out to all the other big events. This is a big event in our community for us and everyone. So hopefully you can make it. Once again, it'll be held, our main event will be celebrated here in Perry Square West from 12 to 6 p.m. this Saturday, and it will be a rain location, and we have over 25 vendor vendors from around the city, a lot of young entrepreneurs this year getting involved to showcase their startup businesses. So we hope you come through and support, and I hope to see you there.
Thank you, Angela. This is a wonderful event, and I really encourage everyone to come down and celebrate. Next, I'd like to invite Tyshawn Taylor to join me at the podium to explain Men Building Men event that takes place this Saturday at Roger Young Park. Tyshawn.
Good morning. The event we're doing this Saturday is a celebration of first annual father-daughter picnic. It originally was supposed to be a father-daughter dance, but we didn't get enough funding to get the venue that we wanted, so we decided to narrow it down to the picnic and celebrate the fathers. And I was looking over statistics of you're 4 times greater risk of poverty, 7 times greater risk to become pregnant as a teen, more likely to have behavior problems without the absence of your father. And I start thinking of my own statistics. I was away from my daughter for 11 years. And while I was away, at 13, she was raped. By 14, she was pregnant. I remember coming home and the excitement she had when she came home. I heard her coming down the stairs, and she turned around, now a grown woman, and jumping into my arms. And her crying, which made tears come from my eyes. And I made that conscious decision I would never leave my children again. I would cherish my daughter. And now she calls me on FaceTime all the time. And I'm like, why do you always call me on FaceTime? She's like, because I don't never want to not see you when I speak to you again. So this event is just, bringing fathers together, celebrating our daughters, celebrating our children, all children to come. We have a band from the Teen Center, kids are going to perform. We have a young lady that's been doing performances throughout the country. It's a little surprise she's going to perform. And other than that, it's just to build and celebrate each other and celebrate fathership. So I would, if you have time to step through, come through us, see how we celebrate, and go back down to Juneteenth. I'm going to be doing the same thing.
Thanks, Tyshawn. Very, very moving presentation, definitely from the heart. And I would encourage everybody to come down and participate in that as well. Next, I'd like to invite Edinburgh University professor and historian, Umeme Sababu, up here to this podium to join me. He's going to be the keynote speaker at an event at St. James AME this Sunday, June 16th. Professor.
It was an unusual cloudy day in Texas, and Big Mama had been on the plantation since Texas became a colony. She recalled when there was only 300 enslaved persons in Texas. She hollered to her children, "Get up out that bed. You know Master's gonna be coming pretty soon." It was a big day that day. It was gonna have a nice big dinner. But she had remembered when Texas only had 300 enslaved persons. She remembered when Stephen Austin had become heir apparent to his father's plantation. And Stephen Austin said to the other slave owners that the only way that we can get out of this poverty is we have cotton. And we need slaves in order to grow this cotton. By 1861, there were 182,000 enslaved persons living in Texas. Cotton, of course, was not only important to the U.S., it was part of the whole Atlantic world. It was a major crop that infused America to become great. on this sunny day, she rose out the bed. She saw some horses far away. Big Mama's eyes was really bad. You know, she had been working in the cotton fields, and now she was bound to the kitchen. She asked little Mary, Mary, come over here. You see those horses over there? Are those gray uniforms? So Mary had some good eyes. She said, no, Mama, no, those some blue uniforms. Big Mama said, blue uniforms? I thought those were Confederate soldiers. Because if they were Confederate soldiers, we had to feed them folks. She said, no, Mom, those are blue uniforms. So as the soldiers rode up to the house, Big Mama said, something's going on here. Something's going on here. Blue soldiers? I think them Union soldiers. Mary said, I think they are Union soldiers. What the hell they doing down here? They rode up to the house, and old Master Jim came out and said, all right, y'all, go back in the kitchen. Called Mr. Ned over. Ned, get some water for those horses. The soldiers ran up. General Granger got off his horse. He said, sir, I'd like to have some water for my men and some water for the horses. And then I want to talk to you about something. This plantation owner Ned said, okay. He already knew what was going on. He said, I want y'all to get back in that field. Get back in the field. Make sure that cotton is picked today. So they got the water and the horses and the water for the men. Then Mr. Granderby said, I have a decree to read. He read that decree from Texas, informing Mr. Ned and the enslaved persons that they were now free as a result of the Emancipation Proclamation. Big Mama fell out. Started hollering, we's free. Little Mary ran away to the fields and said, we free, y'all, we free. Some of the plantation workers were saying, that girl going crazy. We's free? Come on, here, Mary, stop talking that stuff. You know you're going to get whipped talking that stuff. No, we's free. We's free. They dropped their horses and said, we free. They ran up to the house, said, we's free. We's free. And people started hollering and shouting, and it was a big celebration. But old Mr. Ned said, I knew y'all was free, but I needed to get that cotton picked before the season ended. So that's what I'm going to do on Sunday. I'm going to dramatize the history of African Americans' enslavement and talk about the humanity that existed among these enslaved persons and how they were able to use their own human agency to survive and be resilient against a system that was designed to oppress and suppress them. So this event will be on Sunday at St. James A&E Church, part of the Juneteenth Festival. I'll be speaking at 4 o'clock, and again, I'll be doing a dramatization of African American experience in America. Thank you.
Sounds like a presentation you don't want to miss. It was very good. Thank you very much, Dr. Sababu. You know, eliminating racism and prejudice is an important part of our mission, my team and I, and that's what we want to work on. The Juneteenth events are a great way to celebrate our rich cultural diversity. Another initiative we want to highlight today is the annual Walking in Black History program by Gary Horton. That takes place next week. Walking in Black History is a tour that immerses middle and high school students in the history of the civil rights movement by traveling to sites, monuments, and museums in the South that represent important milestones and moments in time. So next I'd like to welcome Gary Horton, who's the president of the NAACP, executive director of the Urban Area Community Development Corporation, and the organizer of Walking in Black History. Gary, would you come up and tell us more about that? Oh, James, too. Good.
I'd like to thank Mayor Schimber, by far the most inclusive, diverse, people-oriented mayor we've had in 15 years, and maybe in the history of Erie, as demonstrated by the the different activities he's chosen to share his stage with today. It's not the first time, and he's been pretty consistent in that. We thank you for that. We appreciate the opportunity to share with you all a best practice program that began right here in Erie, Pennsylvania, 27 years ago, when the former pastor of Community Missionary Baptist Church, Reverend Hurley Murphy, came here to City Hall. And I see Veronica here. She went on that first trip that first year, and that when she was probably 11 years old, and now she's worked here for the city. And Reverend Murphy came here to the mayor, who was Joyce Savacchio at that time. And she went to the presidents of Edinburgh, Gannon, and Mercyhurst and helped raise the money so that we could order the buses. And we took 100 and some people down the road on a trip from from Erie to Birmingham to Montgomery to Selma to Tuskegee, Alabama, and to Atlanta, Georgia. And over the years, we've expanded that trip to also to go to Washington, D.C. and Memphis, Tennessee. But this Monday, June 17th, at 5 p.m., we're inviting you all to come out and say goodbye to us. We're going to be departing for Birmingham. We're going to take 40 Erie area youth and 12 Erie area chaperones for this year's journey. This is a best practice as we see it. It's a tolerance education program called Walking in Black History. Some of these places have not had visitors for 27 consecutive years. That is unique to Erie, Pennsylvania. Visiting the 16th Street Baptist Church, where on September 15th, 1963, 3 men who were arrested and charged many years later, put a bomb underneath the steps of the church on a Sunday morning, and 4 young ladies died, 1 11-year-old and 3 14-year-olds. And that was in the midst of a civil rights movement in Birmingham, Alabama, that they often called Bombingham, because that was not a rare activity. Fear and intimidation was the order of the day. And last year we were able to attend the Equal Justice Initiative in Montgomery, where they have over 4,000 examples of people who were lynched, known examples. There were many that aren't known. But it is such a profound thing to see that they have a symbol with a name and a date on it for over 4,700 African American men, women, and children, and some Caucasians who were lynched during the civil rights struggle in America. And so for 27 years, we've been taking our young people from Erie on that journey. Many of them have gone on to become like Veronica, college educated, college graduate, work for the local government. Some are physician assistants, some have become attorneys, some own their own businesses, some are teachers, some are principals. It's a very valuable program that has inspired youth and shown youth that we can use Martin Luther King's example of nonviolence, direct action, peaceful nonviolent direct action to combat hate. Hate is the enemy, and not any color of anyone, and that we know people hate people for all kinds of reasons. And that's why the Walking in Black History has been expanded to include all kinds of hate. It's a tolerance education program. And so again, I'd like to thank some of the organizations who sponsored and allowed or helped us, assisted us to do this project over the years. Martin Luther King Center, Erie Insurance, Erie Community Foundation, UPMC Hammett, the Erie School District, National Fuel. I don't want to leave out anybody here. Housing Authority of Erie, Perseus House, the Arbin Wiley Charter School, the Jefferson Education Society, and the House of Mercy have all contributed this year to make our to help us raise the $20-some thousand that it takes. And this has been an economic impact that Erie has been able to make in those communities. When you figure that for 27 years, we've taken either 1 bus or 2 buses. We've either raised $20,000 or $40,000 to go down there to help their economy, to show our young people that there are other ways to gain notoriety in society than to let your differences end in violence, sometimes gun shooting or knifings and stuff like that. And so it is a program that we think has national implications, certainly a great impact on the local community, and we thank all of you who have supported us over the years. Mayor, I have for you, you're always giving out other people's things, and that we want to give you a copy of the Civil Rights Movement book to put in your office when you have visitors from around the world. And that I'm sure many of them will reach to your book stand and pick that book up and thumb through it. And so we just want to thank you again for sharing your platform with us this morning.
Thank you for being here. James, thanks a lot. I can tell you one of the most moving experiences of my life was last year when I went to Birmingham for the first time for a conference, where we had a tour of the park across the street from the church where the 4 girls died in that bomb. And obviously I'm not black, but it was still a very moving, emotional experience for me to know what had happened there, and I was walking in the same area. So Gary, James, thank you very much for what you're doing. Keep up the good work. Finally today, I just want to talk briefly about some of the events going on this summer, which we announced in our Summer Parks and Recreation Program Guide. It's a 12-page guide, a copy of it here, so they can see what it looks like. There's just a ton of free events here, mainly for children in the city of Erie, but there's some for adults as well. It's got events, activities, programs all throughout the city. One of my favorite events is the youth tennis program, because that's where I learned to play tennis as a kid, and I went on to play in both high school and college. It also talks about the 58th Annual City Recreation Tennis Tournament. That takes place at Frontier Park. The juniors will compete July 22nd to the 25th, and adults August 8th through 11th, and I've played in both those tournaments, but I didn't win either one. The YMCA Kids Summer Recreation Program began yesterday, actually. That's for kids ages 6 to 18. They can participate Monday through Friday from 10:30 in the morning till 3:30 in the afternoon. That goes until August 9th, and it takes place in 8 of our parks: Bayview, Burton, Columbus, Frontier, Gridley, McKinley, Nate Levy, and Pulaski Parks. The program also provides lunch to kids from age 2 to 18, but parents must be present with kids age 2 to 5 if they're going to eat. Another great activity is the YMCA's Open Swim and Recreation Program at Roger Young Park. It also began yesterday and runs through August 16th. It goes Monday through Saturday from 10:30 in the morning to 4 p.m. You might also want to come see the Footlights Theater Program production of Newsies the Musical. Over 120 children have auditioned and are rehearsing now during June and July for that program. They will perform at Strong Vincent Middle School July 31st, August 1st, and August 2nd. The midday dance breaks are now taking place on Thursdays right across the street in Perry Square from noon to 1. Thanks to the Crime Victim Center and Jennifer Dennehy for partnering to provide this fun midday activity downtown. Children ages 8 to 14 want to learn golf should participate in the junior golf clinics at J.C. Martin Golf Course. Another great golf program held at the J.C. Martin Golf Course is the Junior Girls Golf Program. That begins on June 20th and runs every Friday until July 26th. And it goes from 6:30 to 7:30 in the evening. All the details for these programs and many other programs I haven't talked about can be found in this booklet, 14 pages. It's available here at City Hall. Also, you can get it through Facebook, or you can go to the city's webpage and get a copy. Thank you all for being here today. Let's enjoy Juneteenth. Thank you very much. Everyone who spoke will be available for interviews too, so don't run off if you spoke.